Introducing the Chart Guys Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
Hey everyone, checking in on the marijuana stocks. Congrats to the bulls over the last week. We've seen massive moves all over the place. And the most notable thing is we are changing longer term trends. CGC is currently in a monthly, weekly, and daily uptrend. That is the first time that has been the case since the all-time highs. Cryptocurrency and the MJ sector are doing the same things at different times. They both had a euphoric run. They both pulled back 80% plus. They both, in the last few months, have seen the first monthly trend change back to the bulls, and it's a very notable sentiment shift. And that is a big deal for me personally. I am much more comfortable going bullish when it is with the trend on every time frame. That being said, on the earnings reaction today, gap up open for profit taking. It's not a coincidence that the S&P 500 did the same thing with a gap up open and a close near the low of the day. And this means our temporary top is set. Doesn't mean party's over. Definitely want to be protective of gains, but we now have our Canadian MJ earnings after today with TLRY, ACB, and CGC. And then this Wednesday, we're going to get into US MSO earnings, and we're going to see the sector react to that. So Canada and US still on either side. Big money running Canada into the election and on that hype. And that is, in my opinion, again, due to the ability to move significant dollar volume. So from here, heading into tomorrow, CGC, we're watching for a break of 24.13 to indicate daily consolidation is underway. From there, I watch for first hourly oversold conditions, which would likely take a drop into the 22s if we were going to begin approaching it. So remaining very patient, definitely looking for a daily higher low because it's anything above 1832, and I am more comfortable looking for that daily higher low, ideally when hourly oversold RSI aligns with the daily 12-period EMA support. That's when I start scouting for that daily higher low. So I will be interested in first hourly oversold conditions while these names are still in daily uptrends. I personally have been day trading Canadian MJ names, not swing trading them. ACB. I'm only going to cover these two because everybody else is doing the same thing. Got to talk about ACB dollar volume. Friday, we traded over $5 billion. And double check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's the most dollar volume ever traded in a marijuana stock ever by multiple hundreds of percent. You look at a CGC, huge volume day, and let's just go back to Friday. $34 million traded. Let's call it an average of 23. So that is 230, 460, 690. So we're talking $750 million, very rough guess. That's less than 20% of the dollar volume that ACB traded. A newer trader is going to look at that and say, somebody knows something. Something's happening here. We're going to get a deal with Coke, whatever. No. What somebody knows is how to make a lot of money very quickly. And they've done it before. This is not new. We saw it pre-earnings into earnings last time. This time it was pre-earnings into a sell the news scenario. And what you are seeing is big money. And by big money, I mean there are people that are trading double-digit millions of dollars on these tickers. You are seeing big money know how to cause max pain. The most pain for shorts, recognizing that everybody's on one side of the boat, everybody's bearish, and then that boat flips. They know how to cause a short squeeze, which they did in a very significant way. And you better believe as soon as they lock in their profit, they short it back down, just like last time. Huge gains to the upside, huge gains to the downside, rinse and repeat. Take advantage of the retail traders. Take advantage of traders that are FOMOing into the fundamental background narrative. And in my opinion, that's all that this is. So I'm going to say the exact same thing that I said right here, which was great move, great short squeeze. It means nothing to me unless the bulls form a daily higher low and then confirm follow through from here. If that does not happen, we look for the slow fade. So if we break the low of today at 1038 tomorrow, We know daily consolidation is underway. We have to change the hourly trend back to the bulls for the daily higher low to be set. If we do not break 1448 resistance sometime in the next 2 weeks, it's the same story. For it to be different, that top has to break. ACB has been a beauty for trading in bull directions. I traded it pre-market this morning off of $11 support, just a little quick flip for a half-day maker. But as long as this dollar volume keeps up, there's day trading opportunity in the Canadian names. IIPR earnings reaction was last week. Massive move to all-time highs. I'm watching for IIPR to potentially give us clues into the MSOs. Because again, IIPR's dollar volume, we're talking $80 million traded on today. And for MSOs, we're talking a big day as 20 million. So we're not in the same league. The US MSOs are not attracting dollar volume, and the trading is different because of that. And we'll go over that in just a second. IIPR, I'm watching for first hourly oversold conditions. I'm watching for a daily higher low. There's a little gap to fill at 136.46. We'll be watching that as well. But again, tons of space for the daily higher low to form, and it's worth scouting for. I will be watching for this bounce. GRWG, bearish engulfing candle coming off the all-time high. It was giving red flags first out of anybody in the MJ sector as far as a profit-taking day today. And anything above 1584 is a daily higher low as we approach earnings. So CURLF, gap up open to all-time highs. I believe, did we get there? Nope, double top. There's a double top at all-time highs. That's a bit concerning for bulls. Anything above 952 is a daily higher low. If we lose the daily uptrend from here, with that double top at all-time highs, it's a bit of a red flag. So definitely want to be aware of that and be cautious of that. And watching for the potential of some profit taking heading into earnings. Last time around, we saw profit taking after earnings lead to some weekly consolidation. Keeping in mind that on the weekly time frame, we have now gone really 100% move since we saw any meaningful consolidation. So again, being a little bit protective. We know bullish catalysts in the short term. If the Senate were to go Democrats, that would be a catalyst short term. But short term, we're talking 2 months out. Something getting added to a stimulus bill for the SAFE Act. Again, not likely in my opinion. So we're talking months if any of the short-term catalysts of a Biden win or anything like that actually materializes into anything. So just be aware it's a long, slow, drawn-out process, and there's going to be consolidation along the way. So gap up, and we'll watch for a daily higher low compared to 952, and then we'll watch that earnings reaction. And again, whether or not an individual name has earnings on Wednesday, the sector is going to react as a whole. GTBIF, slow and steady big bull move. If we pull back from here, definitely looking a little bit toppy. We're going to be looking for a higher low compared to 1619. Earnings are Wednesday. And again, it's very different trading. There is little opportunity once the bell rings to enter a bullish position and make gains on the day as a day trader. You can see we have closed lower than we've opened the last 3 days, even though we're still marching higher. So it's different in that regard. In my opinion, if you're looking to make money in the USMJ space, you've got to swing trade it like I was doing. I'm now back to all cash in MJ, and I am protecting my profits. Definitely leaving some money on the table by exiting things a bit too early, but knowingly doing that to be extra cautious and extra protective because I'm pleased with what 2020 has been as far as capital gains, and I'm not giving any of that back. So we'll watch for daily higher lows here. TCNNF, all-time high today. Again, this isn't the reaction you want to see on all-time highs. You want to see a close at the high of the day, the setup for the gap up open that CGC used to give us in 2017, and you don't have that with OTC listed names. So we'll look for a daily higher low compared to 2270. And CRLBF, same thing. We're looking for a daily higher low compared to $7. Daily consolidation will only be underway if we break the lows of today tomorrow. So bears have to prove it in the short term. TRSSF, same thing. If we break 744, double bottom in the last 2 days, daily consolidation underway. Tons of space for those daily higher lows. So if you're looking to buy daily higher lows in the US MSOs, you got to be aware that those earnings reactions are going to be coming into play. I'm looking to buy the Canadian daily higher lows because we're working our way through earnings, and in my opinion, it's going to be more important as to what SPY is doing for Canadian MJ, and I believe that the US MSOs are going to trade on their own as far as reacting to these earnings that are about to be coming up. MSOS, the ETF, volume is getting notable. So I've been talking about ever since it started, give me $5 million traded every day. That's the average that I want. And we're currently trading an average of about 3.5, 4 million over the last 20 days. That being said, over the last 5 days, we're hitting that mark. Today was an all-time high for volume, and we traded $9 million. So that's a great sign, but again, gap up for profit taking, and SPY did the exact same thing, so we're definitely still seeing correlations there across the sector. And we're looking for a daily high or low on MSOS as well. I would call anything above 2030, 2430 as a daily high or low. So again, we're watching first hourly oversold conditions, and if the bulls are going to keep their momentum in this sector, we should see solid bounces from first hourly oversold conditions. That's what we call our back burner trades. After a massive bull run, first 5-minute oversold and first hourly oversold, while we're looking for longer term uptrends to remain intact. So that's what I'm watching for the next couple of days. You better believe that SPY is going to be on my screen, and I'm going to be watching that out of the corner of my eye as we look for bounces after a bit of daily consolidation. So again, protect those profits. Are you going to hold for the next year? Are you going to sit through weekly consolidation? Are you going to sit through monthly consolidation? Where is your stop level? Are you going to take partial profit? These are questions that need to be answered ahead of time. Those of you who went through 2017 should know that by now, hopefully, and you've got your game plans all laid out, because this sector is getting volatile, and we're going to see a lot of volatility in both directions, and the market in 2020 has been nutty. One more thing, I posted it on Twitter, but look at GTBIF, and let's overlay Bitcoin with it. Again, what correlation would be here? High risk. And they're doing the exact same thing, and you might just say, well, everybody's doing what the S&P 500 is doing since the bottom of the dump here in 2020, and that's the case, but look at when the correlation started. It started back in July, August, September, and at that point in time, the S&P 500 was still running strong. So it stands out to me that first Bitcoin topped, the consolidation went beautifully into an MJ run. So these same euphoria blow-off tops happened at very different times, and then mid-2019, they synced up to doing the same thing, and then of course, since that virus dump, they've synced up very significantly. It's worth paying attention to it. If you're trading MJ, keep an eye on what Bitcoin is doing. If you're trading Bitcoin, keep an eye on what MJ is doing. It's not going to be, any kind of... It's going to be nice little clues, in my opinion. I've used it for clues multiple times during this consolidation. And again, 2020, they're doing the exact same thing. Have a good rest of your day. Do good things, and we will see you soon. Daily higher lows will be on watch. Same for SPY. It's time to keep this princess tree in check. It was 6 inches tall when I moved in a year and a half ago. It's dropped all its leaves. Time to cut it down. I was a bit skeptical of an electric chainsaw before I got it. It's more expensive than gas. And it's smaller. I definitely wouldn't be using this for large trees, but anything around the yard that's that big or smaller definitely won me over in terms of how quiet it is. Don't need headphones, no gasoline. Worst case scenario, if there's no electricity or gas, can charge it with a solar panel. So between this and the electric weed whacker, I think we're over the hump for tools to be battery powered and still start to catch up and exceed the something of gasoline. I'm trying to say something. Proper way to fell a tree. One thing about the princess tree is it's naturally hollow. So there's a lot of different uses that you can get out of it. Don't really know what I have a use for. There will be a new tree growing out of there in 5 months.